What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and I am joined by an incredibly special guest, and I honestly can't even believe I have this individual here with me. I'm joined by Mr. Hulthen, and we're here to talk about Mass Effect. I've been doing a series on my channel where we talk about, what's going on with a particular game, a game franchise, and I wanted to do Mass Effect, right? We want to talk kind of about what's in the future, when's the next time we could see the game, all that good stuff, and there's truly nobody better to bring on than him. So I want to thank him for being here. If you guys want to subscribe to his channel, if for some reason you haven't, the link is in the description below. Just click the @ symbol, and it'll take you right to his channel. So thank you so much, Mr. Hulthen, for being here on my channel.
Thank you very much. That was quite the introduction. So yeah, I'm Mr. Olton. I do a lot of videos on Mass Effect. My name is also Alex, by the way, if any of you guys are wondering. I'm sorry, I'm kind of flabbergasted at the introduction there.
Of course. Well, no, you earned it. You're honestly, to me, the guy I look to for anything Mass Effect. I mean, that's literally how we actually got into contact. So it's the honor's all mine that you're making an appearance on my channel. But let's talk about it a little bit. So there's been some stuff kind of in the present, some hires and some stuff like that. But let's talk about the future first, just because I think it's something that obviously people would want to hear, at least in the beginning. When do you think we would see the next? And I'm not talking about like the blog post is fine, right? We've seen them do blogs and stuff. But when's the next time you personally believe we would see some sort of trailer, like a Game Awards, or bigger, probably would get there eventually, right? When do you think that time is for this game?
I'm gonna be generous and give them at least maybe until next year's N7 day, something like that. And I base that mostly because of the fact that they just recently hired Mary, who we talked about earlier, the one who's responsible for Guardians of the Galaxy, the script and the story, and Deus Ex. So since they just recently got her on board, I would say that they probably need to work, a little bit on the story if they're supposed to reveal something story-wise to us. I don't think that they would reveal anything about the trailer because, or about the gameplay, because that would be almost too early, I think. Because even if they have gotten some things down, I just don't think they would be ready. But maybe on N7 Day or on the Game Awards this year, maybe we can get some form of concept arts like we got last year, something like that, something minimal.
One of the things I look to, and I've kind of tempered my expectations or not been so upset if things don't happen, is like I truly believe, although it's obviously different teams, I think it's very clear Dragon Age comes first. And that makes sense for, when you think of like Warner Bros., there's obviously like a pattern of, you do Gotham Knights, you push Gotham Knights first, and then you would start pushing Suicide Squad. You wouldn't push both DC games at the exact same time. And although these aren't, again, the exact same game, Dragon Age to Mass Effect, it's very clear and very obvious Dragon Age is coming first. Dragon Age has been at Game Awards, Gamescom, Summer Game, like anything Jeff Keighley related, Dragon Age always pops, right? Whether it's a concept art or some sort of talking with the developers behind the scenes. And Dragon Age, reportedly, or rumor has it, would probably come out very late next year or maybe even early 2024. So there's really no reason. So I agree. I don't think there's any reason to push Mass Effect if you don't have to. If it was their only thing, and, they have been troubled. BioWare has been troubled. But if they were, like, super looking bad and it was the only thing they had, then I think the pressure would be on them to be a little bit more talkative. But considering I think people relatively feel good about it and confident, and you have Dragon Age coming first, I think you let Mass Effect, because of that, kind of just sit back, marinate, and then once Dragon Age comes out, I'd imagine Mass Effect not necessarily would release right after. Maybe it could within like a year or two, but you would start to see, like, that would be the sole focus of marketing, of Twitter. If you see BioWare at any of these conventions, it would be for Mass Effect. That's how I would, imagine it.
Yeah, I think even Jeff Grubb, I think if I remember correctly, that he seems to think at least that Dragon Age will release sometime somewhere late, like next year. Of course, it's not a guarantee. He can't promise anything, but since I would assume that it's going to be something, I would say around maybe, let's see, September, October, November, like late sometime last or next year. I would assume that since that's gonna allow basically Dragon Age, as you said, to marinate a little bit after getting released. I think releasing a trailer or something, just a little tease again on N7 Day after the release of Dragon Age, that would kind of, I think that would be smart. I don't know if they would do that, but it would kind of be riding the wave, of hype. If Dragon Age Dreadwolf actually is that good.
N7 Day, like it's
Mm.
not, Mass Effect is an example, right? Because some franchises they have anniversaries or they have something that's like a date, right? That's important to the franchise, and they don't really focus on it all that much. It doesn't really matter. Mass Effect is not that though, right? N7 Day is a it's not necessarily the Game Awards day, but it is a big day that you can do quite. I mean, that's where they talked about Legendary Edition, right? You can
Right.
literally announce a game. You could show a trailer. I mean, you can do huge things on N7 Day and get away with it. And instead of just dropping it on a random day, a day in mid August, you can do it on
Mm.
N7 Day and it would perfectly work. So you all to your point, they have that day at their disposal, literally any year they want to use it. Right? I don't think they use it this year. I don't think they use it this year at all for anything massive. But I would imagine, like you said, maybe next year if Dragon Age comes out, say right before it, or even I'd say you could do a teaser for Mass Effect even if Dragon Age is about to come out. It wouldn't take
Yeah.
away too much from a Dragon Age. I think that would work. And I think next year makes sense. Whether you get Dragon Age at the very end of next year or even the beginning of the year after, it's been enough time since the teaser trailer. I think a lot of people would expect Mass Effect to have made a lot of progress. They should be, and again, I think there should be that a little bit of urgency just because, although you don't have to rush anything. Again, BioWare has not been all that great over the last little while. Mass Effect has had its fair share of problems, right? So I
Right.
think being talkative is probably better than being super quiet about it.
Yeah, at least give people at least something each year to just, kind of as a little bit of a reward for, keeping up with the times and, staying hyped and excited for it. Because yeah, I think that has been a problem since before, that BioWare hasn't been very open about their development. And after the recent BioWare blogs, as we talked about before, it seems like they're trying to open up more. They have been very open about their like employees, at least for Dragon Age. So I'm super excited to see the people that they're gonna start showing off basically for the next Mass Effect game. That would be cool.
So, and you've talked a lot about obviously Mass Effect in the present. Yeah, I mean, you know your stuff Mass Effect wise, but you've kept up with BioWare now. So let me just ask you just an opinion thing. Like, how do you feel? How do you personally feel confidence wise in them? You feel good? Maybe coming off of Andromeda and stuff. Like, do you feel that this can be a real up to par with the trilogy? Like, how do you feel right now with the hire? You can talk about the hires or whatever, but how do you feel about the game as it stands?
I guess I'm kind of in the middle. I am excited for the next Mass Effect. Like, of course, like I've made almost, I don't know, 200 theory videos or something. But I am definitely excited for it. And I think what kind of tempers my expectation is, of course, what happened to Andromeda. But then again, I've seen so much information that kind of tells me that they've kind of learned of their lesson from that entire debacle. They have brought back, as you said, yeah, several hires that are older Bioware devs that worked on the original trilogy. So there's a lot of good signs, but I would say that yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. I wouldn't say that I'm that I'm not going to be critical about a future release. If I see something that I think disagrees with the fandom or just me in general, I would definitely, talk about it. But so far, so good. Everything that I've seen it just looks good, especially the thing with Mary Tomorrow. But then again, that's just news for at the moment. So we'll see, of course.
Well, like you said, like getting the band back together, basically getting all these old hires, like it's cool to see because it doesn't always happen when you have franchises continue. Sometimes there's some games or there's some studios that are releasing games now where it's like it's actually crazy to think that 15 years ago when they were making, X property that people loved, the odds of like almost anybody still being around from that is very close to zero. Like there's not a lot of people that stay that long. And that's true. I mean, that's literally true for BioWare. They left and they had to bring them back in the future. So that is absolutely, it's a good sign because it doesn't really even happen all that much. So it does have that feeling of like a band reunion, right? Getting all the old members of the band, and maybe you can crank out some new music that's really good. That's what I think about this game. Now, that segues. This would probably be the final thing I want to discuss with you. How does your opinion? Because I think you've covered it. Actually, you're the one who started it in terms of finding about the Shepard stuff. I covered it. That's actually how then we got into contact. So, what would your opinion of this game be if tomorrow or whenever before the game comes out they formally announce that it's either going to be with Shepard and crew or a brand new group? And like, where do your expectations, your worries, like what happens if they say you're going to play as Shepard or you're going to play as a brand new character?
Man, I haven't thought about that. I think I would be excited nonetheless because it would still be, set right after the Reaper War. I just think that story is so incredibly well done, or it was up until the ending. And then after that, I think it has so much potential. So if they went ahead and said like, oh, okay, you're gonna play a Shepherd, of course, like everybody would, start orgasming everywhere, all around the world. But that like just because Shepherd comes back, it doesn't mean that the game will be good. In worst case scenario, it could end it could end up like what's the Star Wars movie that released the last time? Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, right. The Palpatine Returns thing. It's just if that happens just because we're asking for Shepard to come back, I don't know if I want that. And then if they announced that you were gonna play like a new crew, like I would be fine with both. I just need to know that the story and the script for the overall, story and the characterization of everybody is, so well done that it's equal. So I wouldn't really know. They would have to show me something for me to actually, uh, feel super excited or super worried. If they just said it, that's one thing, But then they would have to show it off as well. So you would have to know because I would kind of be stuck in the middle again if they just said it.
Yeah,
But
no, it's tough. I've thought about it myself, where it's like, yeah, I completely agree with you. It's really both sides have positives and negatives, right? So you bring Shepard back. My positive would be, well, at least you're getting back, and Shepard could mean Shepard and crew. It technically could just mean Shepard. Like you don't need to bring in Garrus and Tali or whatever, but you could. I mean, it leaves the door open. But if you're bringing back Shepard and/or Shepard and crew, you're getting that familiarity. You're getting these characters that you absolutely love, and it's probably easier, I would assume, to write for them because like you already know them, and fans are already going to know them. On the other side, the weakness would be, like you said. I mean, how many times have franchises done this? And this is oddly like you're bringing in a legacy cast, much like movies have done, and you could easily destroy them. You could you could write yourself off the deep end. And so that could be bad. Then on the flip side, you have a brand new crew. Again, good or bad. I mean, the thing that worries me is that the last time they did that with Andromeda, in my opinion, it failed. I mean, I really believe that you did not replicate, and that's what you're trying to do. I mean, you're not doing literally a one-to-one thing, but like you're hoping that the cast, not just the main character, but everybody else around, Andromeda, is gonna make an impact like Mass Effect did, and it just absolutely didn't. So you have that weakness, right? Where it's like if you did a brand new crew, the positives would be you have an open slate, right, to do whatever you want, and maybe you can catch some people can catch on to it, and then the negatives would be it's harder. You're not necessarily guaranteed to strike like you did with Shepard and the entire gang. So that's kind of how I agree with you, though. I mean, because either way, it may sound positive at the front, and then when you think about it, it could get negative. Maybe it immediately comes across as negative. Even if you hear Shepard's back, maybe some people immediately think, I don't want that, and then maybe they think positively of it afterwards. It would be tough. Now, what do you, I guess, to end it, what would you prefer one? Would you want Shepard or something?
Of course, yeah. But in that case, there would be it would be as a mentor figure, sort of like Anderson. That's my my highest wish would be Shepard to return, but that he or she becomes like this mentor figure to the new playable character. In that case, it would be like handing the torch, like they started doing in the Disney trilogy. Starting off by giving us Han Solo again, but then kind of handing it off to somebody. But just don't end it in the same way as it ended there. But yeah, as a mentor figure like Anderson, I would love that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I'd accept it as long as again, respect needs to be shown. Seems like
Yeah.
for whatever gosh darn reason, Hollywood, not necessarily gaming yet because we haven't really had passing of the torch games too much, but obviously movies I think are more in the negative of doing it correctly, where they almost disrespect the character more. But again, we haven't really had. I mean, because Mass Effect would be a really good example. Would be a really good kind of like atmosphere to try something like that. Like you have Shepard there, but he's not the main thing. He is there to pass along. We haven't really had that too much in games. So if they nail it, I mean, they could be almost a pioneer for it. Well, that's what I want to cover here. Now, again, if you guys have not subscribed to Mr. Halthen, please, for the love of God, go in the description below, click on the his @ symbol, and it'll take you right to his channel. Subscribe there. He does truly, and I really, really do mean this, incredible videos, incredible Mass Effect stuff, but he also does other stuff. I've watched his second channel with Stranger Things, loosely because I'm not caught up yet, but you guys need to check him out. An amazing guy. I'm really, really happy that we were able to do this, and we want to do more on both channels. So if you guys like this stuff, more is hopefully coming. So thank you again so much, buddy, for being on with me.
No problem. Thank you for having me. This has been super fun.
I figured it was right up your alley. I couldn't do I mean, it just walked itself into a good situation with Mass Effect. So guys, let us know what you think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to both of us. Bell icons turned on, and we will see you all on the next one.